Agriculture commodities super cycle odds are, in my opinion, 65 to 75% from 26 to 28. Grain prices could double in parts of the market. Super cycle does not require global crop failure. It only requires tight stock, energy shock, weather problems in 2 to 3 major exporters. I'll cover it basically the way my line of thinking went.
Please.
So I cover, of course, globally again. So the problems, geopolitical and the wars and everything. So it's the Iran war, blocking of the Straits of Hormuz, the Ukraine war, developing a very strong El Nino, potentially super El Nino, uh, and then droughts in the crop producing areas, water depletion in the aquifers that were mentioned earlier, globally. This globally because they're occurring in U.S., they're occurring in China, they're occurring in India, Pakistan area, the main ones I'm talking about, and how that'll all affect commodities in the future. Uh, my thinking is that if two or three of these uh, things come together that are detrimental to crop production, it'll severely curtail crop yields globally. And anybody that has a product, even uh, I'm talking cereals and pulses and so on, that can fill those voids is going to be a beneficiary of all that because the other ones are going to have to make up their imports, increase their imports, and if they had sufficient product of their own, that they will with the diminished local production, they will have to import that much more. So then I go on probabilities. Agriculture commodities super cycle odds are, in my opinion, 65 to 75% from 26 to 28. Okay, so that means the scenario. Let's say put some scenarios up front. Normal volatility, no true super cycle. I probability, give that a probability of 20 to 25%. So in other words, prices spike but fade within 6 to 12 months. So, and then the next one is the moderate ag super cycle. I give that a probability of 45 to 50%. Wheat, oilseed, pulse, rice, fertilizer, sensitive crops stay structurally high for 2 to 4 years. That's the moderate one. And then the super cycle is at 20 to 25%. But in order to that, for that to happen, you have to have multiple breadbasket failures in multiple countries, Australia, China, uh, Brazil, or a combination of them. So then you have to have multiple breadbasket failures, and then plus energy fertilizer shock, plus export bans, which will happen if they're concerned about their own inventories. Grain prices could double in parts of the market. Scenario, probability, extreme food security crisis, which is on the table. That's only 5 to 10%. But that means Hormuz disruption persists, El Nino becomes extreme, and several exporters fail together. And then why the odds are high. The setup is unusually combustible. Energy shock risk is real. Reuters reports Hormuz traffic has been severely curtailed, and Hormuz normally handles roughly one-fifth of global oil and LNG flows. That directly hits diesel, freight, fertilizer, chemicals, and irrigation costs. Number two, the El Nino. El Nino risk is building as we speak, and I think some of those analysts are calling it as a super El Nino, which goes back to I think the last one, 1977 one or thereabouts. Uh, so NOAA has an El Nino watch as of May 14th, 2026, and WMO says El Nino is expected to develop from mid 2026. China also expects effects to peak in autumn or winter of 2026. India is already flashing risk. Water is structural issues. The probability of a genuine ag supercycle is now better than even. But the key distinction is this: a supercycle does not require global crop failure. It only requires tight stocks, energy shock, weather problems in 2 to 3 major exporters, plus government export restrictions.